What's up everyone, I'm Callum on Toast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing a triple duck theme team in the Open Great League featuring Sirfetch'd, Quaquaval and Shadow Golduck. I think you guys can probably guess what my next theme team might be. Obviously there were a lot of shared weaknesses with this team, so it was quite tough to run, but I really enjoyed using it. With that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. What do you think is the best water type Pokemon for the Open Great League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Sirfetch'd into a Medicham, so not a great lead. Gonna save swap into my Quaquaval, and we are of course running Wing Attack and Aerial Ace, so we can at least hit for super effective damage. The opponent doesn't even build up to a Psychic, they go for an Ice Punch, and then they swap into their Noctowl. So I'm gonna go for a close combat here, and this will do big damage to the Noctowl. We don't quite have enough energy for a second close combat, so I go for the Aerial Ace, grabbing a shield from the Noctowl. Now we're gonna come in with the Shadow Golduck after waiting at the switch here, and the opponent is going to be able to make it to a charge move. I'm going to use a shield here just because otherwise Golduck will get very low. They actually full send a Shadow Ball, and I'm able to fully confusion farm them down. They now come in with Galarian Stunfisk, so I can build up to the back-to-back cross chops here. The first one will do some nice super effective damage to the Stunfisk. I swap into Sirfetch'd, I get off 2 counters there, which should put them into range hopefully, where I will be able to take them out with a cross chop in the end game. Here I build up to the Brave Bird, go for a Leaf Blade bait, and the opponent once again not farming to the Psychic. We can let the Ice Punch go through, make it to Leaf Blade number 2, and this will get the Medicham incredibly low to the point where we can come in with the Golduck, get the confusion farm down. I know they're at a charge move here, so instead I'm going to go for the extra confusion just in case they're not quite in range for a cross chop to KO, but now this should definitely be enough damage to take out the Stunfisk, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see Bastiodon, so a great lead for the Sirfetch'd. They swap into Sableye. I'm going to stay in initially, go for a Leaf Blade because this will do a lot of damage to the Sableye. The opponent does respect the damage there, and now I come in with my Quaquaval here, and I will be able to resist a foul play, but they could full send a return, and they do exactly that. That would almost definitely one-shot us because Quaquaval is quite a attack-weighted Pokemon here. We go for an Aerial Ace, it doesn't quite take them out. I don't really want to take a foul play either, so I actually just go for the second Aerial Ace straight away, taking out the Sableye, and they come back in with the Bastiodon. Now this is actually a bit of an awkward matchup here because of course they are double resisting the wing attacks. I have to full send a close combat, and it connects, it nearly takes them out. I try to snipe with the Sirfetch'd, but my opponent reads me like a book. They swap into the Medicham, and now this is actually not a great position to be in as they can shield once and fully farm us all the way down before we even make it to a second Leaf Blade. Now I'm going to come back in with the Quaquaval. I'm able to make it to an Aerial Ace just about in time before they go for a charge move or farm us down, but they have so much loaded energy here. I'm going to have to call a bait or potentially shield a Psychic, and I do correctly shield the Psychic, but they get the defense drop here, and Shadow Golduck isn't the bulkiest Pokemon ever. Can we live this Stone Edge? Yes, we barely can, and we make it to the cross chop, and this will be enough damage to take out the Bastiodon, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Victory Belt in the lead. This is absolutely awful for me. I swap into my Quaquaval, and I'm barely able to make it to an Aerial Ace before they fully Razor Leaf farm me down. So that is very awkward. I'm now going to wait out the switch clock, come in with my Shadow Golduck, and once again, I can hit for super effective, but these Razor Leafs are absolutely chunking us here. We shut up the Leaf Blade, and we do get the confusion farm down. They now come in with a Azumarill, so I go for 2 confusions, go straight for the Ice Beam here, and the opponent is actually going to shield up an Ice Beam, which is not ideal for me, but honestly it wouldn't do that much damage. It is resisted, and now we come in with the Sirfetch'd here. I'm going to shield this up. The opponent baits with an Ice Beam, and then they come in with a Talonflame, so I'm going to overfarm massively here, go for the Brave Bird, and this will be enough damage from this range to one-shot the Talonflame. They come back in with the Azumarill. I go for the overfarm, but I lost track of the Azumarill's energy. We were debuffed there. Ice Beam takes us out, and we actually make it to a cross chop as well. So if I went for the Leaf Blade straight away there, even if it didn't quite take them out, I should have been able to win that game. So massive blunder on my end there, but GG's to that opponent. Going into the next game, we see Sirfetch'd into Dugong, so a very nice lead. The opponent save swaps into Altaria, and this is a really troublesome Pokemon for this team because I do of course have Ice Beam, but unfortunately these Dragon Breaths are really chunking the Shadow Golduck here. I'm hoping if I bait with a cross chop, I will be able to make it to an Ice Beam to take out the Altaria. So we go for the bait, and we do grab a shield, but we're not able to reach the Ice Beam, and that is so painful because now this Altaria has regained switch advantage. They've still got so much energy, they will be able to make it to a Sky Attack. I'm forced to use my final shield here, and now I will be able to outpace them to an Aerial Ace, and I'm hoping that they actually shield here just because Sirfetch'd might be able to sweep in the end game and get a very nice counter farm down, and they do exactly that. They go for the Sky Attack, they should be in range for me to counter farm down, and the opponent recognizing that, so they swap back into the Dugong. I'm able to make it to a Leaf Blade, and Leaf Blade will be enough damage to take out the Dugong from this range. I need something very weak to Grass in the back, and ask and you shall receive as we see a Whiscash. We can overfarm, go for a Leaf Blade, and this will be enough to one-shot the Whiscash. And now I'm going to play it safe here, go for the Leaf Blade. I think I could have counter farmed them down, but Leaf Blade will be enough to take out the Altaria, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Cresselia in the lead, so this is probably the worst thing we can see, and even worse, they're running Confusion, and that, yeah, I don't know what we can do here. We can go for a Leaf Blade, get some nice chip damage, swap into our Shadow Golduck, and unfortunately they do also resist the Confusion damage here, whilst dealing super effective with a Grass Knot. Now here, I'm going to overfarm by one Confusion, go for the Ice Beam, and I have to hope that for whatever reason the opponent wants to no-shield, and they do no-shield it. That's actually great for me. They now come in with a Bastiodon. I can go for a cross chop, and it is double super effective. It does about 40% of their health, and we do get them into the yellow health before they get the full farm down. Now I'm going to come in with my Quaquaval here just because it will be able to resist everything they can throw, even Flash Cannon if they were running it for whatever reason. But here I'm going to no-shield the first charge move. They go for the Stone Edge as that is stab damage. We swap into Sirfetch'd. We get the counter snipe there, and the opponent has a Unovan Stunfisk in the back, so this typically would be good for us, but we are so low that I think they might be able to double shield and fully farm us down with just mud shots, and if that's the case, then it should be pretty much game over, and the opponent is able to get that farm down. But we are just one wing attack away from the close combat. We do get it through as they throw the charge move. I need this close combat to KO, but it doesn't quite take them out there, and unfortunately we will go down to a discharge here, and we do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Sirfetch'd into a Quagsire, so a great lead here, but I'm thinking that it's pretty obvious that the opponent will try to catch the Leaf Blade, and they do exactly that. We can now just go straight for a Brave Bird here, no messing around, and Brave Bird one-shots the Whimsicott. They now come in with a Skuntank. Honestly, should have come in with my Quaquaval there, but I didn't really wait to see what they came in with. I just instantly swapped, and unfortunately they do resist the Confusion damage here, but the Cross Chop gets them fairly low. Now, I'm actually going to use a shield here, just because I did get the Confusion damage through. I can now go for a cross chop, and this should be grabbing a shield from the opponent. Now they will be able to fully farm me down with the poison jabs, which are now boosted because of the Trailblaze, but I'm hoping now I can come in with the Quaquaval, shield once, and fully wing attack farm them down. They go for a second Trailblaze, but they swap back into the Quagsire. I'm going to tank this move, and then I probably will swap into my Sirfetch'd, and I do exactly that. Now we should be able to live a Mud Bomb from this range, but Mud Bomb is going to put us into range where they can probably Mud Shot farm us down, so I overfarm as much as possible and force my opponent into a CMP tie, which is the best case scenario, probably the only win condition here now, because I will be able to let the Mud Bomb go through, come in with a Quaquaval, overfarm, go for the Aerial Ace, and this will be enough damage to take out the Quagsire, and now I can wing attack, farm down the Skuntank, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Sirfetch'd into a Azumarill. So this is a pretty good lead matchup, even though they are a Fairy type and we are a Fighting type, just because Leaf Blade just does so much damage, and we will be able to win this in the one shield scenario. The opponent actually doesn't farm to a Play Rough, but that's fine. I'm going to shield anyways, and I'm expecting if they're going to go straight for another Ice Beam, that I will farm just as they reach the energy here, go for a Leaf Blade, and then if they do shield this up, I'm going to swap into my Shadow Golduck. We even get a Confusion through as well, which is amazing for us, because now they only need one more Confusion to take them out there, and they come in with a Vigoroth, so we can go for a Cross Chop straight away just before they make it to a Body Slam, and the opponent does respect the damage there, using their final shield and going for a Body Slam just before the next Confusion damage registers. Body Slam does take us out, and now here I don't really know what to do. I'm actually going to come in with my Quaquaval here, shield once, and then just overfarm quite significantly here, thinking that my Sirfetch'd might be useful for whatever is in the back, and the opponent comes in with a Sableye. So here, I'm going to build up to the back-to-back aerial aces, go for the first one. This is a CMP tie with the foul play, which will be resisted damage, so I will actually be able to live this, and I will bank a close combat, swap into my Sirfetch'd, go for a Leaf Blade, and this will easily take out the Sableye. And even if for whatever reason the Vigoroth is able to farm me down here, we did have that close combat banked to throw with our Quaquaval, but it was unnecessary as a Leaf Blade takes out the Vigoroth, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Pidgeot in the lead. So not a great lead, can't really swap out either. So just going to stay in, assuming they're going to go for a Feather Dance here. So there's no point swapping out, as they would just debuff me straight away and then probably hard counter me in the back. But here the opponent gets really greedy. I'll make it to a second Leaf Blade, and we actually grab both shields from the Pidgeot as well. I mean, since I threw the Leaf Blade straight away, they probably should have read that it was just going to be another Leaf Blade, and I wasn't running Night Slash, but I will certainly take that. We're now going to come in with the Shadow Golduck, and I do think this isn't enough energy for a Brave Bird, so I let it go through. It is the Feather Dance. They come in with a Toxapex, and unfortunately, with the double debuff, I can't really stay in that matchup because, one, my charge moves are resisted, but also confusion damage isn't even going to add up that much either because we are double debuffed. But here we do end up shielding up a Brine, which is unfortunate, but I did have 2 shields remaining, so I thought I might as well shield it. And now here we go for an Aerial Ace. I'm hoping just to put them into range where we can confusion farm them all the way down. The opponent full sends a Sludge Wave there, we get the confusion farm down, and let's see, the opponent comes back in with the Pidgeot, we can get the farm down as well, and here they have a Scrafty in the back. I need Cross Chop to do 50% of their health, but it doesn't, so we go for the extra confusion there, and unfortunately we're not able to get off another Cross Chop, but I do believe even with that second Cross Chop, they still would have barely survived, so unfortunately we do lose that game, but GG's to that opponent there. And into the next game we see Whiscash, and once again don't want to go for that Leaf Blade straight away, just because it is very likely that they will try to make a catch, but they didn't. And here we also wait one turn just to make sure they didn't catch, but for whatever reason their animation stopped, so I also kind of paused for a second there, thinking that maybe they paused, but actually they got an extra Mud Shot in for free, so that was really awkward. But here we do make it to another Leaf Blade, and Leaf Blade will be taking out the Whiscash there. They come in with a Alolan Marowak. We don't get off the Leaf Blade, but it doesn't really matter. We can now come in with the Quaquaval here. We are resisting the Fire Spin damage. They could of course go for a Shadow Bone here, but the opponent didn't actually farm to it. They go straight for a Bone Club, so I do let that go through. We can now go for Aerial Ace. The opponent doesn't know I'm not running Liquidation, so they do use a shield, and they come in with a Azumarill. So here I'm going to go for the Aerial Ace once again. Not going to do too much damage here, but I will build up to another Aerial Ace. Going to shield this up. I think it is just an Ice Beam. Actually, no, I let it go through, knowing it is just the Ice Beam. We now come in with the Shadow Golduck, and once again they throw an Ice Beam. But just because last time I lost track of the Azumarill's energy, I'm actually going to respect the damage here, and potentially I should have just went for a confusion farm down, but instead I go for a Cross Chop. This will be enough damage to take out the Azumarill, and we go for an Ice Beam straight away once again as well. So here Ice Beam is going to be resisted damage. They do tank that fairly comfortably. They now overfarm here. They're going to go for a potential Shadow Ball that takes me out here, and I'm barely able to go for an Aerial Ace, and this hopefully is going to be enough damage from this range to take out the Marowak, and I do barely take that game, so that should have been a much more comfortable win there. But GG's to that opponent. And into the next battle we see Shadow Swampert in the lead, so once again expecting a catch, so I don't throw straight away, and this actually plays into my opponent's favor because now they can grab an early shield advantage and probably still make a catch, but no, they don't make the catch there. I go for a Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade will be shielded, and now I'm going to go for my own catch, swapping into the Shadow Golduck here to catch the Hydro Cannon, which is resisted, but it does nearly 50% of our health. They come in with a Defense Form Deoxys. I'm committing to the Ice Beam, and we do barely make it. This will not be enough damage to take them out here, but it should put them into range where I can come in with my Sirfetch'd, and if they don't throw straight away, then I will go for one counter and make it to a Leaf Blade to take out the Deoxys here. So this is great for me as I grab the final shield from the opponent. I'm going to call that they're going for a Thunderbolt here. The opponent actually goes for the Psycho Boost. Unfortunate for me, but here we can come in with the Quaquaval, and even though they're double debuffed, Psycho Boost will do a lot of damage. They actually actually go for Thunderbolt instead, so perhaps I should have gone for an overfarm here. But Aerial Ace takes out the Deoxys. They come in with a Poliwrath. I'm expecting a catch, so I don't throw straight away, and here I overfarm as much as I think I can. We go for the Aerial Ace. This will be enough damage to take out the Swampert, and I'm hoping that a close combat will be enough from this range to take out the Poliwrath. But it doesn't take them out there, and the reason I didn't go for Aerial Ace is because it is non-stab, so it would actually do less damage than a close combat, but unfortunately they're able to take me out with a Dynamic Punch, and I do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent, and into the final battle of this video, we lead into a Toxapex, so I'm going to count to 8 and then try to catch the Brine onto my Quaquaval, and I'm able to catch it, even though they did overfarm by 1 Poison Jab there. They now come in with a Scrafty. We build up to the close combat. Honestly, it should have just full sent it here because I don't intend on shielding, so actually if I let this move go through, they're going to get a very nice farm down, which they will be able to do here with that power-up punch, and they're only 1 away from the next power-up punch, so I'm going to come in with my Sirfetch'd and go for 1 extra counter. I don't expect them to shield here. Leaf Blade would not take them out, so I go for the Brave Bird. We take out the Scrafty. They come instantly back in with the Toxapex, so I come in with my Shadow Golduck, and I'm going to use a shield here. This could be a potential Sludge Wave, but no, it is just a Brine. That's unfortunate. They do make it to another charge move, but this will just be another Brine, so I'm going to let this move go through. And let's see, they've got a Steelix in the back, so we can go straight for the cross chop. We should be able to live the Dragon Tail that comes through and make it to a second cross chop. This will do some nice damage here before the Steelix is able to debuff me. And now we come in with the Sirfetch'd. We should be able to win this game. We've still got 1 shield. Even if they debuff our attack, I should be able to counter farm them down after a Leaf Blade, but actually they go for Psychic Fangs instead, and Leaf Blade will be enough damage to take out the Steelix, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.